Hello. We're coming to you today in light of this self isolation that we find ourselves in. We know that it's been about 2 weeks for most of you, and you've probably exhausted all of the means that you have in keeping yourself busy and having fun, that you may be getting bored with the same old thing. So, we're here today to suggest some things that you can do while you're at home, and it will hopefully grow you together as a family, also enrich your souls. So, these again are just suggestions, but we hope that you find them beneficial for you. One of the first things we want to talk about is family worship. Now, you know we're big on that. We've always wanted to push the family, and we hope that our church seems like a family to you. But in light of this coronavirus, we're stuck with our immediate family, aren't we? So, with that, what we want to do is remind you of what family worship even is. Our definition of family worship can be shortened down to simply sharing God moments with the family. Now, we want to expand that definition just a little bit. And to do that, we need to understand what God moments are. Now, God moments are awareness of what God is doing in His creation. So, this awareness can be nothing more than something that you read in the Bible, to as large as seeing the most beautiful sunrise or sunset you've ever seen in your life, and sharing that with your family, letting them know that you recognize God doing things in His creation and in your own life. But we also need to define family for just a second. Now, the scriptures tell us that family is when a man and a woman come together and become one flesh. Now, that's a biblical definition of it, and we agree with that, obviously, that man and woman together making one flesh is family, but then you add in kids, and that's an extended family, is the way we refer to that. And what we want to do is see that families are coming together, and that as they do life, they see God, they're aware of God's providence, and they're sharing that with one another. And that's husbands and wives sharing with themselves, as well as husbands and wives sharing with their kids in that particular case. So that's what we mean by family worship. And what we want to talk about now is ways in which you can do that. Now, you know, scriptures are very important to me, so I'm going to jump right into this and say that one of the ways that we do it as a family, that we've done for many years now, that is phenomenal, because every single person, no matter how old they are, everyone will get something out of the exact same story every single time when you do it in this fashion. It's real simple. I'm going to share that with you here in just a second. And I want to say that even when Mike was like 4 years old and I was in my late 30s, and everybody in between, we all got something unique that was special to us from the same story out of the Bible. Now, what you do is simply take a Bible passage that you know, that you're familiar with, that you feel comfortable with, and you share that as a family in a group there. And then you just read it, let the story speak for itself, and then you just ask some questions that will lead into better discussion. And these questions are who were the main characters in the story? Something as simple as that. And then you can take that answer and say, well, of those main characters, who do you best identify with and why? Now, with that kind of question, they begin to investigate themselves and understand what God's doing in their life and being able to share that with one another. And that's the beauty of it. And they begin to recognize and grow themselves from that. And in a lot of the cases, you're going to know real easy, but another good leading question is, how do you see God in this story? So a lot of times that even furthers better conversation for you and your family as you continue to grow together. The second part that to our family worship is always a time of prayer. By praying together, you get to hear one another's heart. You understand and get to know one another a lot better, because when you're praying to God, you're laying it all out there. You've got nothing to hide, and you really learn a lot about one another through a time of prayer. But what we want to do is suggest a few things for you to be in prayer about on a regular basis. The first thing is each other. Be sure and pray in a way that you want the best for one another. You love them, even though they may be getting on your nerves after 2 weeks of being locked up in the house. Be in prayer for one another, that your time is used wisely and that it brings glory to God. Also pray for those that have been infected by the coronavirus. Pray that they can find healing, and pray for the medical staff that as they continue to treat and provide care, as well as keep it from spreading even further. They're working hard. They need our prayers. I also want to pray for the leaders, those that are making those tough decisions, those that are required to make those tough decisions. And you are making tough decisions yourself. So don't be afraid to pray for yourself. Pray that God blesses you and gives you wisdom in the decisions that you have to make, even as a leader in your home. Remember your family and friends. Also, we want to pray for God's mercies. Pray that God's grace and mercy is evident in all the things that are going on right now, that we can see His hand involved and we can praise Him because of it. So let's be in prayer together. Next, we want to move right into some of the resources that we have available, or some of the resources we want to direct you to. Now, as you see on the screen there, you'll see the homepage of our website. You will see resources about halfway down. If you hover your mouse over top of resources, you'll see a tab shoot over to the right, and underneath that, you will see recommended sites. When you click on that, you'll get this screen. And you'll see different headings, but you'll see like the one that's circled there, it says family resources. Now here's a list of things that you can go to that are family oriented. We're suggesting that you take a look at the movies site, because you're going to be watching a lot of movies. This is just a Christian perspective on how to see movies, or which ones to watch and what to look out for. The next one is Focus on the Family. Now let me highly suggest that one to you. Focus on the Family is a magnificent website that offers tons of resources. There's blogs, there's videos, there's all sorts of things for you to check out. The next website I want to lead you to is martymechkowski.com. That is an author that has put together some children's books, and they are phenomenal. My wife and I have used these resources, and we can't recommend them enough. On your screen there, the three to the right, long story short, old story new, and gospel story. We've personally been through those books with our kids. They are very good. They are simple, they're short, but they get right to the point about the things you need to know about God. But also there is the other book there, the first one on the left there, Theology. And yeah, it's theology, but it's a book I haven't personally gone through with our kids, but it is a book that I have looked at. I have read the bulk of it, and I can't recommend it enough. It is also a valuable, valuable resource. The last on that screen is gingerhubbard.com. Now, you may know her as Ginger Plowman because she's a well-known author, and that's what she used to write under, is Ginger Plowman. But her website is Ginger Hubbard, and she has a lot of great resources for parents in dealing with rearing children and understanding, and it's just a really good resource for you. Now, you may have older kids. I found a blog. You can see it on the screen here. It is Melissa Kruger. The title of her blog post is Now's the Time, Resources for Family Devotionals. She did this back on March 24th of 2020. And it's got age-appropriate resources. So check out that blog post. It has a lot for you to really be looking into. One of the suggestions I would like to recommend to you is to be active together. Okay, don't let everybody just go to the room and sit there for hours playing on their own devices. Bring them out. Let's get together. Let's have some fun. Laughing and sharing together really is enhanced while you're doing things together. Some suggestions, obviously, are board games and card games, or maybe you want to get out a craft. Maybe you want to try some kind of project together. And I would recommend that. But I also want to recommend that Julie Wisehart, she has put together craft bags. And what she's going to do is she's going to deliver those craft bags to those that want to participate. And she is, during her bi-weekly Facebook Live that she does on Wednesday nights at 7 and Sunday nights at 7, she's going to take those crafts and instruct on how to put those crafts together while she's telling her lesson. So it's a good chance for you to get involved and stay connected. And I'm very thankful for Julie and her family for working hard to keep everybody connected during this time. And then one of the last things we want to encourage you to do is to be available. Be available to one another. Be neighborly, or as the Bible calls it, be hospitable. And we do this by checking on one another. We also want to be in service to one another. And that's part of our mission statement, right? Worship, serve, and share. And so in our service, we want to make sure that we're thinking missionally, and we don't have to necessarily be in their homes with them, but we can do things for people that are in need. We can go to the grocery store for them. We can pick up their medicines. We can go to the mailbox and drop their mail off at the front step for them. There's so many things that we can do for one another. And the big thing is just knowing that you're there goes a long way. But I'd also recommend that if you know of someone that needs something, to let the church know, because I've got plenty of volunteers that have said, man, if you need anything at all, let me know. I want to help. And they're willing to go to the grocery store and pick up things. So let's be missional. Let's be neighborly. So thank you for your time. I hope these resources are helpful to you. Again, there's a lot of other things that we can suggest, but as you start looking, you're going to start seeing other websites recommended. So enjoy your time. Know that we're here. We love you, and be blessed.